Hey guys, Jim here. I wanted to do a quick follow-up on this Boker Plus Epicenter. I really hope that you've already checked out the other video that I did on this when I received it in a couple of weeks ago in the comments that I made, because this was, my immediate follow-up to having purchased a Boker Plus Salmonero that was a raving pile of crap. And we know Boker these days, especially the Boker Plus, because they're Chinese built. We know them to be piles of crap. And I'm just that kind of person. I'm going to give it to you as straight as you can, but I'm also going to be fair. I'm going to try my absolute best to always be unbiased. It doesn't matter the cost or price of a knife. It doesn't matter the name engraved on the blade. I want to try and be as unbiased as possible. And in some cases, that's going to mean, maybe even swallowing my own words. I was on a real rant about the quality of Boker Plus in particular, on that Salmonero, because it was so horrible. There were inexcusable issues with that knife that should have never made it into the consumer's hands. However, a couple of days later, I had received the collaboration they did with Todd Rexford for his legendary Epicenter, which is where that comes from. The jimping on the spine of the blade in the Epicenter. And this was a knife that for some reason I was compelled to own. When you first look at it, it's just kind of a plain titanium slab knife with a high flat grind. And you're like, there's nothing particularly special about it. It's not even particularly handsome. But there was something that was pulling at me. And I got to tell you, once you've put these contoured titanium slabs in your hand and you feel the contour here, that palm swell, the contours all the way around, it's like butter. It is one of the most amazing feeling knives in the hand that I have ever held. I am that impressed with it. And I have no problem saying that this knife completely took me by surprise. It is actually one of my absolute favorite knives. I love carrying this knife. There are days that I'll pull, I'll be getting dressed. I'm not pulling on it when I'm getting dressed, by the way. I do that in the shower. No, I'm kidding. I pull a custom out of my pocket after I've gotten dressed and I've picked out my knife for the day. Sometimes before I'll leave the house, I'll pull that custom out of my pocket and replace it with this. And I can tell you one thing, every time I go to open my knife case, almost every time, there are two knives that I pick up and fondle because I love the feel of them in my hand and I love to feel the action. And that's my Rockstead Shin and this $100 anomaly. I can't figure it out. I can't quite put my finger on it. I mean, no, it's not going to be quite that smooth, but oh, yeah, I'm still in a big honeymoon phase with that. But there is something about this knife that just truly, it calls to me, as weird as that sounds. But those of you that are knife collectors, at least if you're to the insane obsessed degree that I'm at, you know what I'm talking about when I say that. Now, I'm making it a point to flick this nice and hard and do it many times because I want to prove to you this is something, I do this on a daily basis. I play with this knife a lot because I wanted to see if I was going to get the infamous lock issues. And I know Carter just recently uploaded a video about his developed a lock issue within the same day that he first purchased his. I feel like I've won the lottery. I have zero defects with this knife. And here's where it makes things hard for me, because when I get this excited about something, I want to share it with my friends. And I want to tell my friends, oh my God, you have to experience this for yourself. You have to buy this great and wonderful thing, whatever that thing may be. However, I know that if I tell somebody, if I tell my friends, oh my God, you have got to own a Boker Plus Epicenter, and if they listen to me and they get it, they are more than likely going to end up with a knife that doesn't work right, because that's the reputation that this particular model has earned. Generation 1, forget about it. They actually had titanium sides that weren't even cut to the same size as one another. Generation 2, they just had issue after issue after issue with this damn lock bar. Well, the lock interface between the lock bar and the lock face on the back side of the blade. So I can sit here and love this knife and fondle this knife, but I cannot, with a clear conscience, tell my friends or my subscribers or anyone else, go run out and buy one, go get one right now. And as tempted as I am to even endorse it in a way, but with a warning, I look at a video like Carter's, he just got his, and immediately developed those lock issues. The only thing that's wrong with mine is the blade isn't perfectly centered. It's pretty close. You know what, this is, I call it Boker close, because that's about as perfect as a Boker is ever going to be centered. Again, at least in the Boker Plus. So I guess I just want to say, wow. I want to say that there is still hope out there. Keep hope alive. There's hope out there for Boker. Because if they can deliver even one example like this, that's pretty much perfect. Well, I don't want to say perfect, because look at my pivot. This is how it delivered. Their finish work still sucks. I mean, you look at that and go, really? That's a brand spanking new knife? And that's how it delivers with the pivot? I was just lucky that unlike on my Monero, I didn't have a whole bunch of blemishes on the blade that couldn't be taken out. But if Boker can deliver one knife that's this awesome, man, why can't they deliver them all like that? Because you know what? I have the biggest hard-on for owning a Todd Rexford Epicenter, the full size, and just like this plain Jane, just all-tie version. But the very few that ever pop up for sale, $5,000, $6,000, listen, I just can't justify it knowing what they initially sold for. And I understand, you know, supply versus demand. Believe me, I've been doing this stuff long enough. I get it. And I have overpaid on many knives, paid double. I'm not going to pay 5 times the value of a knife. I'm just, especially when you're talking in a knife that was $1,000 and over to begin with. I'm just not going to do it. So this is the closest I'm ever going to get to owning what is pretty much, you know what, I guess I do have a dream knife. I guess that is my dream knife. And this is the closest I'm ever going to get to owning it. So I feel very fortunate that my particular example came in so perfect. So to anyone interested in one, I'll say it again. Boker has a horrible reputation. They have a horrible reputation, in particular, with this exact knife. But if you're going to brave it, if you're going to try it, you're not going to know it's defective for a few days or a few weeks. You're not going to... It's not out of the box defective in many cases. That lock issue, where it just, you know, just decides, hey, I'm going to loosen up, give you a little bit of lock rock. I'm not going to fail. I'm just going to bob back and forth and clatter around and look like a piece of crap. It takes a little bit of time to develop, and you got to play with it a little bit. So I'll just say this. If you're in a gambling mood, just do what I did. Find the cheapest place possible to get one. You know, these sell, I've seen them sell as high as $165. I don't really remember what the MSRP is, but I did a Google search. Google shopping can be your friend every now and then. And it took me to eBay, and I picked this up on eBay for right about $100. I think it was 102 or 104. I don't remember. I said it in the initial video when it was fresh in my mind. And you know what? For $100, this has served me beyond the $100 that I spent. So if you feel like taking a gamble, you don't mind pissing away $100 on maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not, or at least buy from a reputable dealer that will accept a return, like somebody like Blade HQ. Maybe try it, because if you have the same appreciation for it that I do, And just, look at that, it just fits. Fits left, right, up and down, reverse hold. Oh! I love how this feels in the hand. I love that blade. I love the grind. This is one of the dead sexiest knives that I own. And it sounds weird. It sounds weird because it's so plain. And when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't get the big deal about the whole Epicenter thing. Oh, I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. And maybe you'll get it too. I don't know. Like I said, just think of that $100 as pissed away. It may or may not. You may or may not get a return on investment from that. But, you know, if you do get one, I really, really hope that you get one that's in perfect shape like I did, because then you can really enjoy it. You can love it. You can carry it. It's got a great sharp edge on it. This has been a wonderful utilitarian knife for me. And that's kind of why I bought it, kind of just to bang around, you know. Maybe in the back of my mind, I wanted to think to myself as I'm cutting down cardboard, look at me, I'm using a Rexford to cut down cardboard. When there's no way in hell, if I ever came across a real Epicenter and I bought it, it would get very light carry and never probably be used to cut very much of anything, just because of how difficult it would be to replace. So maybe there's a lot of different psychological reasons that I bought it. I don't know. But I have just enjoyed the living shit out of this thing. And if you get one and it happens to be perfect, I think you're going to enjoy the shit out of it too. As long as you don't get shit out of it like you typically would when you open up a Boker box. So anyway, best of luck to you. Just want to kind of say, you know what? This is the opposite of a rant. This is giving accolades to Boker for delivering one really nice knife. Now, the other 10,000 you delivered that were defective, shame on you. But this one, thumbs up there, buddy. You done good.